on. Out, go. It's gonna knock into my tripod and shit. He'll get excited and run around the yard, and he could possibly slam into something. He's doing it right now. Like it slam into something. I mean, like a young tree, oh, a sunflower that's doing real good. I can answer any of your questions regarding dog training. Um, I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is getting a dog. Um, a lot of people can't deal with themselves. How are they going to deal with a dog? Um, you can't be apathetic or passive with a canine. That's just not going to work. If people are too unconcerned about their own behavior to inflict their will upon a canine, and that's what you're going to have to do. So, if like say you have real bad habits, you know that they exist. You're not going to do anything about it. You're just going to let them continue because it's too much work. Dog's not going to be a good option. That'd be a sign of like somebody that's like really self-centered. You're going to have some kind of something about yourself. If you're going to get a dog, you're going to have some kind of selflessness, because at some point you're either going to have to. Gus, you're getting that stuff all over you. I'm going to move. Get out of here, Gus. It's at some point you're going to have to do. Okay, here would be an example of something that's difficult to do. Dogs they're all cute, right? So you know that your dog's cute, but you still have to use discipline until the dog is screwing up. If you can't do that, don't get a dog. This seat is kind of wet. Hang on. So, if you don't want to do anything or do less, I'm not going to say a cat, you don't have to do anything, because that is not true. That's just a fallacy. You have to train a cat. There's things that you need to do. Cats are very territorial. You might have to keep them out of a certain area. Once again, if you're in a situation where like you can't deal with yourself or something, like how are you going to deal with a cat or a dog? Like you have to. There's a. You have to worry about someone other than yourself. So what I'm saying is, like, say you're drunk or something, it doesn't make for a good dog owner, a good cat owner, really. The only problem is a lot of people have the tendency to be self-centered, so they're not going to really care. Well, I want a dog. And then they run into these problems. So, yeah, I guess what I'm saying is like a pet isn't about convenience. It's the opposite of that. So you're gonna have to. Is a pet right for you? If you get a dog, how are you gonna get it trained? If do you think that training involves like spending a few hours with the dog? No, you can't learn training from videos alone. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. People think that. A lot of people think that. They get the dog and then they're calling me. Or even like they get the dog, they've seen the videos, and then they get the dog. This dog that is here. Like this happens a lot. It's like somebody will do a Zoom session or whatever. We'll talk. the dog comes in and they'll say like, oh, this isn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. There's nuances that you're just not going to pick up. So like if you wanted to learn dog training, you'd have to like, man, that takes a while too. You're not going to learn it in a month. Or from working with a dog trainer for a period of, oh, I don't know, total of 72 hours ain't going to do it. Somebody that has like a better idea, like let's say Toxic Sheba, she's young. She was kind of naturally more inclined to understand dog training. So like the videos probably helped her. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like some people are just like, get off of my paw. Hey, Gus, man, you're fucking up. This dog is such a dick. You don't know what you're doing, do you, dummy? Just gonna smash into my young paw tree and break it. You broke that other one last year, didn't you? I know it was you. That had the reek of Labradorness on it. Like he probably came out and just like laid on it and... Didn't you, Gus? Gus, didn't you, you big idiot? He's an idiot. It's the dumbest dog here, probably. Aren't you, Gus? Definitely. Hey, manatee boy. What are you doing? Yeah, you're cute. So what? Oh, you're good. No, I'm not going to do that. It's just, people think, oh, yeah, I can do it, and then they find out that they can't. There's these little nuances. I mean, great way to train 2 huskies. How old are your huskies? Why do you have 2? Great way to train 2 huskies, question mark, to train them. How old are they? How old are, you have 2 huskies and you're asking how to train them. How old are they? Tell me. There's no great way. What are you talking about? How old are the dogs? Hi, Gus. Get out of here, Labrador. It's like dumber than a rock. I love the shit out of the guy, but it's dumber than a rock. Why do you have a 7-month-old and a 5-month-old dog? You have 2 puppies. Neither one of them are going to get trained. You realize that, right? You have enough with 1 dog, but now you got 2? Why? Why? Why'd you do that? And you're asking for a great way to train them? Okay, send them to me. It'll be $16,000. It'll take 3 months. No, that would cost money, wouldn't it? You wouldn't want to do that, would you? Why'd you get 2 dogs? Did you have twice as much problem? What are you thinking, man? I'm sorry, but you clearly don't think. You got a 5-month and a 7-month-old. Oh, I know. I had the 7-month-old and then I had to get a 5-month-old because it was important. Somebody was giving it up or I saved it from the street or something. Give me a break. Go find them both a home because a great way to train them is to train them. You're looking for a gimmick. You're looking for an easy way to get them trained, aren't you? Do you know the easy way? Cost you $16,000. And you'd have to come up here and do lessons for 4 days. But the problem is you have 2 dogs, so you'd have to come up for about 8 days. Because you have twice as much of a problem. You're looking for a great way to train them. The great way to train them is to train them. But you don't know how to do it. So you don't know how to train a dog, but you got 2 of them. Good. Nice job. You're doing right by those dogs, aren't you? It's ridiculous. You sound ridiculous. Yeah, you do nothing. That's right. I have a friend who has an Akita 10 months old who recently gave him up after getting bitten. Well, he's an idiot. What did he expect? It's a dog. All dogs will bite. They will. They'll bite. Hi, Gussie. They'll bite. It doesn't matter. Gus could bite in the right situation, right, Gus? It's a subspecies of the wolf. Your friend is an idiot. He got bit and it broke the bond, so the bond wasn't very good. Hey, he's right by my baby sunflower there. He could have just taken it with his mouth and eaten it. Gus, get out of here, dude. Beat it. I gotta go let another dog out. I already was working with Lutsy and the puppy Snail. I'll bring them out in a minute. Let me get Snail. I'm gonna throw him up on the table, do more with the mouth. He's got to get used to this. I can't be pushing, get him to hold until he really sort of gives up and lets me hold his snout. He's doing better with the weed pulls, the puppy is. At first, you're sort of dragging him through. You know, it's muscle memory. And then he's given up a whole lot. Lutzy's doing a lot better on the weed pulls, much, much faster. I'll tell you what, I'll answer some questions if anybody has one. I'm going to shut this down, and then I'll bring the puppies out, or the puppy out, and the other dog, and we'll live stream that. So I don't want to go on too long, because when I do that, then I can't switch this over, upload it into Instagram. Our Chihuahua is more difficult to train to stop barking. I don't have one, but all dogs are difficult to train, okay? They're all difficult to train. I'm sure that your friend has conditioned the dog to bark. Some dogs are more vocal than others, that's true, but here's an example. My dog Tonka, very vocal. But when I tell him to shut up, he shuts up, okay? So some dogs are more inclined to be vocal. That's true. But if they won't stop barking, that's a sign that the dog has like zero training and doesn't understand the owner. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not indicative of the breed, but it's indicative of dogs that aren't trained. That, you know, all dogs will bark under the right situations, but if they won't stop barking, that's the problem. You come into the house, they keep barking. Bark, 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 bark. They don't stop. And the owner says, you know, no, but doesn't say it with, you know, the dogs just aren't trained. That's all it is. I have a Chihuahua. Mango, he's like 24 years old. He's old as shit. Could be the oldest dog in the world. Clear, you know, it's a good chance. If he's not, he's one of them. There could be other dogs like Mango that, like, the Guinness Book isn't called. He's old. There's a record on Mango. Mango originally came up from Florida years ago with a rescue group. That's how this woman I was seeing got him and couldn't handle him. I got a 10-month-old European Great Dane. He's a great puppy, very willing to learn. That's not a question, that's a comment. He's 4 months old. You know, good luck with that. Do you see what I'm saying? Like you're saying, yeah, he's really willing to learn. They're all trainable. All dogs are trainable. Your comment makes no sense to me, sorry. Got cooler today, which is nice. So I could probably work the whole day with the dogs. That's my plan. Yesterday I was having to get up early, get some lessons done in the morning, take a break, and then work them in the evening. At what age, on average, do puppies start becoming less excitable around other dogs? Listen, your puppy, you shouldn't even like worry about having them around other dogs right now. You're describing a dog that is not trained very well. Listen, excitement is the point. All dogs make a mistake. They bark, lunge, bite, or just don't listen. So obviously you have your dog around other dogs and it's not listening and it's too excited to listen. You shouldn't worry about having your dog around other dogs. You should worry about having your dog I just live in a populated area. It doesn't matter. You take the dog. I lived in Brooklyn for many years. You take the dog out, you train the dog, you don't have them deal with other dogs. If a dog starts walking up, you walk away. I lived in Brooklyn. Don't tell me about you live in a populated area. Stay away from the other dogs. You train the dogs and you make sure that you've trained the dog to play. So the dog knows that to play, it has to play by your rules. And play, I mean training, because training, they like the command. That's play for them. So they know that they're not going to do retrieves. They're not going to do anything like that unless they are compliant with you. Okay? So it doesn't matter. Your puppy shouldn't be, You're not socializing your puppy, having it around other dogs, okay? That's a misconception. All the socialization that your dog receives is in the first few weeks of its existence, okay? A few weeks of its existence when it's with the litter and and the the mother. So you're not socializing the dog by having it around other dogs. It's not helpful. You do the yard work, and when the dog's compliant, then you have it around other dogs. Socialization happens when your dog is compliant around other dogs. That is not what you're describing with your puppy, because your puppy is too excitable, right? And all dogs are excitable. So don't think that your dog is going to become less excitable at a certain age. It's not. It could be 3 years old and it gets around other dogs, and it's going to become excitable. You need to worry about compliancy. A lot of bothersome people without dogs on a leash who don't know recall interrupt training. Then you don't go there. Why are you going to a park? Don't go to a park, Joshua, don't. Go right outside your door. You don't need to go to a park. Why are you wasting time? Go right outside your door and start training the puppy. You spend all this time walking to the park, take your dog outside, right outside the door, let it go to the bathroom, and just start training it. You don't need to take it to the park, man. I'm from Brooklyn, man. I'd do that right outside my door. So, there's no reason for you to be going to a park. You're putting your dog in a situation when it's around other dogs. I just said, don't do that. Do yard work, okay? Do yard work with the dog, and then once the dog is compliant, then you might want to take it to the park or not. I understand there's people that don't have dogs that just let them roam around off leash. It sucks. So you don't go to a park. It's not helpful. It's not helpful when your dog is compliant. Say your dog is at heel. At that point, it's just leash trained. But then here comes a dog and comes up and physically interacts with your dog. Your dog is going to get excited. Do a monkey wrench in your training. But you made the mistake by taking it to the park. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do yard work with your dog. Make sure it's totally compliant. Gus, you fat pig, get out of here. It's fat. Sometimes I look at him, I think it's Ike. You're fat. He's fat. He's a fat fucker, aren't you, Gus? He's cute, though. Hey, let me see. No, roll over. You look good. No. See, he's doing this shit again where he runs around and probably... Man, you're gonna knock into my shit. Stop doing it. All right, that's it. He's got to go in. I'll be right back. Man, what a fucking pig. All right, go. Let's go. Kennel, come on. Hey, fat boy, get in here. Talking, leave my shit alone. Seriously, just stick to the yard or stick right outside your house. Don't even go to the park. I know there's this thing about like, oh, you want people to see your cute dog and everything, but fuck it. Who cares? It's better to get the dog trained. You can't control people, and other people can't control their dogs. You're 100% right. It's not even worth getting involved in that. If you want to take them around people, your dog around, take them to Home Depot once they're trained. So you figure if say I got a puppy, I'm not taking the dog to a Home Depot for at least 3 months. About if it's an adult dog, I'm not taking it there for at least 60 days. So you might want to think double You know, this is not as easy for you all, for a good reason. I have experience doing this, and I know, my timing's on. Your timing is fairly off. Um, I, you know, conditioning. I get more conditioning done than you're ever gonna do. It's easier for me. So you're gonna at least want to spend double the time, 120 days or something, working with your dog, and then maybe try Home Depot. And if it goes a little bit south, you don't go back. You go back to the yard work. And that's me making a generalization. I don't know. Maybe you're like Toxic Shiba, and you have a real good idea what you're doing. This is, I'm talking about a couple of years ago. Now I'm sure she's got it. She's got it down. That woman could be doing dog training professionally. So, but you understand my point that I'm trying to make? Like most people, 99% of most people shouldn't even have a dog, much less attempt to take the dog in a store. I hate to be negative, but it's just the truth. That's cool, Joshua. Fucking Tonka. What a dick. Look at him. It's amazing he's so old. He looks like a 2-year, responds like a 2-year-old dog. He didn't even start slowing down until like 2 years ago. So his slowing down is still, no, he'll lay down now and stuff. Hyperactive. I gotta cut some vines. I have 2 blue and gold macaws and a Cotamundi, and I train every day. That's probably smart. Where'd you get that Brazilian raccoon? Isn't that what that is? Where do you live? Like Vegas or someplace? You can't have a Cotamundi everywhere, can you? I don't think so. Well, maybe. I brought her back from Australia. I live in Michigan. Oh, you brought her back? Really? I thought that Cotamundi was like a only some states allow it. I thought that was like a Brazilian raccoon. It's not? Is that a marsupial? It looks like a raccoon though, right? Am I correct? Australian raccoon. I'm sorry. I was close. Um, yeah, they're cool, right? But it's an Australian raccoon. It's not a marsupial, right? It's like a raccoon. I bet. I've seen them. They look cool as shit. Their tails kind of go. Don't they have like a tail that kind of goes up? Is that correct? Like it's got a raccoon face, but kind of has. It does not have not a marsupial. It does not have a prehensile tail, does it? But doesn't the tail go up? Yes, 3 feet tall. Yeah, it just goes, but not prehensile tail, right? It's very much like a raccoon, not a prehensile tail. It is. It's very similar. I see. It's very similar to raccoon, Australian raccoon. Huh. I bet they are smart. Hey, you guys, leave my fucking that sunflower alone, man. Another week or 2 and they won't fuck with it. It's about this tall, It's one of the smaller ones. I got several ones that are about this tall right now, and the stage where like they could really get demoed real quick. Tonka. How'd you get how'd you get it back from Australia? You just imported it? You got it shots and brought it in? I know there's breeders like in Texas you can get them. Is your Cotamundi is it like litter box trained, or is it trained to go in the bathroom in like a cage area, or is it out all the time? How do you deal with it? I'm just curious. I mean, I got birds. That's sort of an issue. It's not sort of an issue. It's an issue. I'm on Sam's floor right now to make it easier for me. I'm an exotic animal trainer. Brought her back from Australian Zoo. She is litter trained in crystal litter. It's interesting. I'm getting crystal litter for my cats because I have like sometimes these cats like they'll like plastic bags or whatever and they'll piss on them. One started doing it and then the other started doing it. So yeah, so I'm saying to I'm gonna get crystal because I've used crystal before and crystal's great. It's just pricey. So I'm doing crystal. I have empty litter boxes which they're using, and I'm gonna try and mix some crystal into the empty ones. And I still have the clay that they're using, but you got two cats, you have two litter boxes. But I have two cats right now. I'm using 5 litter boxes, which I'd even add in a 6th, and then you could start knocking them out, ones that aren't used. But I had no problem, and then or I had very little problem, and then I got the second cat, and that sort of caused a little bit of problem with Buck. Nothing really. I got it under control. This is like this spring was rough on me, so I just like didn't. I was just like doing other shit. I gave her enrichment every day, and leash trained her. Finny is her name. I bet it's great living with her. Was she um, like, how, like, do you have your Cotamundi out and like, can it just like walk around like a cat? It's like having a cat, to be honest. Okay, I believe it. What do you feed a Cotamundi? They eat some meat, right? What do you eat them? Like cat food or dog food? Curious. Like a raccoon, you could feed dog food, I believe. Do they wash their food like a raccoon, like an American raccoon? Because I had to deal with some baby raccoons when I was working at a shelter. Man, they were stinky. She eats canine diet with lots of veggies and fruit. I see. Oh, really? So they are. They're essentially just a raccoon. Those young raccoons that we had to deal with, man, they would wash their food, and then the water would get all fucked up and smell, and they were hard to deal with. But they were going. We only had them for about a week and a half or 2 weeks before they went to an animal rehabilitator. But they were interesting. They were we weren't interacting with them too much because we knew that we wanted to get them back in the wild. So we'd feed them, try and clean out their cage the best we could, and then they decided to kind of go in the corner. Nobody touched them. We were not supposed to touch them. Let's see. She'll put her nose in my armpit and put my deodorants on her. They love smells. My brother and his family got a golden retriever puppy. He has super hyper kitten puppy, is 6 weeks old. I guess it will be just a yard dog, just like last one. She died. That's bad. I can tell you know that. They did not train that one at all, and she was behaving okay-ish. What troubles me is the experience they had with the dog makes somewhat blind to the importance of training. Yeah, that's a shame. That the poor golden. You get it. So the dog's probably inside now, and then they'll get sick of the dog and throw it out in the yard. It's what a lot of people do. They get a dog, they love the dog, and then when the dog's too much of a problem, they get rid of it. They won't train it, It's disgusting, Then either it goes in the yard or they get rid of it. I don't want to use a crate, How could I reason with them? You can't. You cannot reason with them. Stay out of it. Just know that the dog's getting screwed. What are you gonna do? You can't tell people anything. I've given up. Don't try and help people in any way. Don't, because you can't. It's a waste of your time. It is. It's a waste of your time. You just can't. Either you're gonna alienate your family by saying something, you know what I mean? It's just, or you're gonna waste your breath. They're not gonna do anything about it. The dog's probably beautiful. It's a golden too. The golden should be living around people, not in a backyard. Um, that sucks. Dogs in backyards don't do well. They get out, they get out, they get hit. Um, they're just, it just doesn't go well. They don't get fed. Would you stop? I'm not reading your shit. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Go. Go. We already talked about Bigfoot and dogs. Shut up. Shut up with that, because you know what? Bigfoot are terrified of dogs, so just be quiet. Jesus Christ, dude. Boy, I got so much done lately. I went and got wood filler for the kitchen floor, for the area that I just patched, so that like the seams, there's no crap going in those, and then I'm gonna seal the whole kitchen floor. Lightly sand it, bleach it, probably lightly sand it again, bleach it again, and then do it up. I might do it in a section, like do half, so I don't have to shut the whole kitchen down. It might just take that long, really. So, polyurethane, you know, if I use a good polyurethane and be dry in 24 hours, I'll just stay out of that area. I'll have to go around, it says back door, but it's no big deal. But it'll look great. So I'm gonna plug the seams, the cracks between the floor that I put in. It looks great. That kitchen looks so much better. There was like this nasty hole that, because it was concave, like dirt would get in there, and you could see the basement from there, and oh my God, it was just like every time I went in there, it bothered me. So I was just like, I woke up, like, that's how I do everything. So I wake up and I'm like, okay, let's deal with this, Once I make the decision to do something, I'll just stick with it. Hey, Tonk. So it's finished. I'm glad that I inlaid it. I recessed it, not left it. I was going to do it like a platform. I'm glad I made it even with the other floor. It looks good. That was a dirty job. I had to cut out maybe 6 by 10 feet or something. And then I, inlaid old wood in there. It looks real nice. Tonka. I don't know why I thought a Coatimundi was Australian. I think there's an Australian raccoon too. Maybe. That's similar to our raccoon and your raccoon. Maybe. I think so. Maybe I'm just thinking of the Coatimundi. And I thought it was Brazilian or something, or South American. I know people will have multiple ones. I know they're legal in Nevada. So I know there's a breeder out there. I was looking at them. I don't really need an exotic animal because I have unexotic animals. I don't see Sam the Raven as exotic, or Peaches, the cockatoo. I don't really see them as exotic. They're just birds. Not really even, There's not much difference between my hybrid African species and an American crow. There's not much. They're about the same. And they're not exotic too, because my raven, my hybrid raven, that's bred from zoo stock, taken over 100 years ago. You're gonna have to go. Just stop. The tick begins. Stop. But so see, I can't really see them because it's actually a domesticated bird. Domestication is all about breeding. has selective breeding taken place, and it's over a period of time, which could be one generation. So there's been multiple generations with, Sam's, you know, relatives. So he's a domesticated bird. Birds are some of the oldest domesticated animals, like the pigeon, like really old. Some of these ground birds, like chickens, ducks, very old. I believe doves, pigeons were one of the first. Quail, chickens, all those ground birds were pretty old too. Um, I really want to get some homing pigeons. You know, I don't use mine like that. Like, I don't want to race. I'd be terrified if Remy or Soul, I'd just be so worried about them. I guess if you have more, it's not as much in there outside. But like mine are like your animals inside. Like if you had pigeons outside, you might be sort of removed. But um, that's why they're microchips. Well, how's that help? How does that help if the bird gets hit by a truck? It doesn't. Yeah, GPS. How's that help? Your bird is like out, it's subject to a hawk. I don't see it as a plus. It's like saying, okay, I got a GPS. I got a GPS. You can find them unless they're eaten or smashed on the road. I have a GPS dog, right? If it was running around, I'd be freaked. It wouldn't matter. And do they have GPS that small that'll work on a pigeon? Because on dogs, the GPS, it's like a tag. It's not that small. I mean, I guess. They do? They have them small like that now? That's cool. Technology's a wonderful thing, isn't it? If they had like you could get your dog chipped now with something like that was a permanent GPS. They don't really have anything like that for dogs right now. They just have like tags. I'm sure, you'd have to have something that had a battery. See, I don't know how that would work. I mean, your birds can fly with weight on them. RT transmitters are in the leg band. Is that right? No shit. What do those cost? How's the price on those things? That's interesting. That makes it like, do they use those for 1,500? So do they use those when they're flying work too, so they know exactly how long it takes? Is that one of the reasons for it too? I mean, those birds that win are worth like millions of dollars and shit. Like millions. I might have a pigeon that's worth $1 million. Now I have a pigeon in there that's worth two that are worth a lot more than $1 million. I wouldn't sell. Somebody tried to get me to see if I would sell Remy. There's no way. Remy is priceless, and so is my son Solar. As far as I know, Solar's the only 10 miles in 3 minutes. They can fucking hoof it, I know. A pigeon can do like 700 in a day. 700 in a day? I was like, what the fuck? That's 12 hours of just fucking bam, That is really moving. 700 in a day. That's really flying. That's really flying. And they do it as the crow flies, which is a lot better than how we have to do it. We have to take the roads, man. They're just fucking flying. Pigeons are fast. So are doves. Doves and pigeons are a really fast fucking bird. They really are. Yeah, you read that 700 miles in a day too. I was just like, when I read that, I was like, whoa. Like, that's crazy. That is just like so. For us to do 700 miles, You know, and in a day, like they're gonna stop flying at night. So you're a 12-hour stretch. They're doing 700 miles. It's nuts. That is fucking nuts. No wonder we use them for messages and in wars and shit. They fly faster than crap. I mean, you know, that's loading up with food before they go, and probably not stopping. Maybe they stop for some water or something, but they're flying until the afternoon, until night, where they're gonna feed when they get back to the truck or wherever they're homing to. It's amazing. It's amazing. Everybody always calls. I always hear this, and it annoys me. Is the ravens? They're so smart and all this shit. All birds are smart, you know. They really are. They're brilliant. Smarter than most mammals. They have a high neural density. And well, thanks, Tim. But you know, there's so many species that are just like they're different. So you can't put them in a category of like a pigeon. You can train to pass the mirror test. The raven you can't. There's only like a handful of birds that can pass the mirror test. So, you know, the raven might have the ability to like pull a string up with its beak, you know, and get a piece of meat off. The pigeon doesn't, but the pigeon doesn't need to do that. So, you know, like these brown sparrows that live around my house, man, they're killers. They're absolute killers. And I've lived with them. I've helped them for years. And if you were going to put them on the same type of IQ scale as a bird, I would put them with a raven. They're that kind of smart. They might not have the ability with the claw and bringing it up, but man, I'm telling you, those things are like, they understand language, they hunt packs, which I don't really see ravens. Well, I do, sometimes I see them out in a field, but they're not really hunting packs. They'll just be in a general area in a cornfield looking for voles or mice or something. You know what I mean? They're not really like, I think they're really scaring one over to the other. They're just sort of looking around, opportunists like a dog. Where the brown sparrows, I was watching them yesterday, they hunt in packs. They'll go hang out where it's real, there's a lot of foliage, and they'll be in there waiting for a flying bug to come by, and then they both go, you know, like 3 or 4 of them will go after it, like a sport. That's when I was living with them, taking care of them a lot. I just saw them as like what they are, which is just a brilliant species. And the most interesting thing about the brown sparrow is you will not find them living in the woods. They will not live in the woods. They only live around human beings. They want to live in structures that human beings live in. I have no idea why. They're an invasive species. They're from Europe, and it's the same thing over there. But you will not find a brown sparrow in a forest. They don't live there. They want to live around us. I like that too. I think that that's amazing. There's some kind of symbiosis with them, and I don't know why they need us, or, you know, clearly we need them to look at them, or I do. I love, you know, there's aspects of my house. I have a lot of bird houses up because I like them. But even in those areas in the house, like the soffit's kind of pulling down, they're in there. I'm not fixing that until I can figure out something like put more bird houses up that they can use, because I love the brown sparrow. It's an amazing bird. They're all smart though. Chickens, they're all different. They all have different aspects about them. You know, it's like comparing a predator to prey. And people are like, oh, the predator's smarter. Is it really? Because the way I see it is it takes just as much brain power to be able to see that predator coming towards them and haul ass and be able to function, you know, cutting and weaving, as it does to stalk up on the animal. I just really don't see too much difference in the lower animals. We're highly unusual that we have this gray matter and, you know, are problem solvers to the point where we can go into outer space or even know of our mortality and that, you know, our existence, where the other animals are more similar to other animals. So I don't really see like a horse like less smart than a wolf. I don't. I see them about similar, just different. I'm gonna train dogs. Let me shut this down and I'll get one of them. All right.